Hi everyone.
Hello.
So we just finished our trip in Aswan. We're just leaving now. And it took us a long time to figure out the camera, so hopefully the train won't move for a while. So we left Cairo, normal. We took the sleeper train, which I was quite excited about. And then it just made a lot of noise. So leaving Cairo was always a bit stressful because like you can't really get close to the train station, and so he dropped us off a little out there, like a block away, but like on the road, and it was such a hassle. But we made it to the train station with a lot of time to spare. We couldn't find out the platform we were at because the sign just said your train is there, like it's coming, but no platform.
It just said the train and the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so these guys came to us and said like, oh, are you looking for this train? We're looking for it too. We were told it's over there, so we followed them and ended up working out well.
Yeah.
And then so we got on the train and they made us change cabin. We don't know exactly why, but they made us change cabin, so we did. The train's moving a little bit at the moment, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
So we changed cabin, and then we tried to sleep. So we played games. We had fun for a bit. We had the meal, which was not great. It was just like these two
sandwiches. One was meat, one was cheese.
Yeah, and a hot dog
buns, a bag of chips, and a juice box,
and an orange.
Oh, orange.
Yeah.
And a square of something cake-ish.
And 3 olives in a Ziploc bag.
Right, 3 little olives in a Ziploc bag.
So that was I don't think Jen ate much of that. I did.
Yeah.
It was what it was.
I had the orange.
And he had the orange. But after that, like sleeping in it was not super comfortable. It jerked around a lot. So it was not super comfortable.
And it was quite loud. Like there was a lot of times where like it just sounded like they were breaking because you could hear like the metal screeching on the track, which is not the most soothing sound.
Yeah, and it was, to be fair, it was a lot of bumping side to side. It was not like they pushed the brakes a whole lot, and then so it was more, I think, the side to side. So we weren't pushed off the beds or anything like that.
No.
But yeah, we got to Aswan at 9, and then made our way to the Airbnb. Oh, I thought I lost my wallet. So leaving the train, I had a panic attack because I couldn't feel my wallet anymore, and so I really panicked. I looked everywhere. I couldn't remember taking it out. And then the man in charge helped me, and he lifted the bed as if to put it back. And I guess while I was sitting down, it had slipped out of my pocket and behind, like it would behind a couch. But here we had to undo the bed to find it. So I found it, and I was really relieved.
Yeah, that was good.
And then we started exploring Aswan. So we just made it to Elephantine Island, where there are no cars. We have to take the ferry there, so that's always good.
And the ferry's super cheap. It's like £5 each way. I
think locals pay less, but
I think they pay 1 or 2.
So we took the ferry to Animalia. So our Airbnb was in the same house as the museum called Animalia, which is like one of the things to do in Aswan.
One of the things to do on Elephantine Island. I don't know if it rates on Aswan list.
True. But that was it for... No, we didn't go there first day.
So we went in, we found our room, we dropped off our bags, and our Airbnb host arranged a boat with the host's mother's brother.
Yeah.
And he took us on a motorboat ride to the Nubian village.
He didn't take us. Somebody else ended up coming.
Right, with the same name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mohammed's pretty common name, but
it's true, yeah. So the boat ride was really, really nice. So Aswan is beautiful. It's really green, lots of nature, and just quite calm once you get out of Aswan itself. Yeah. So it was just a really nice, relaxing boat ride.
And then we were going towards the Nubian village, which is really close to the dam. And so that's where the cataracts are. So like you could see it's not always super smooth flowing. Like sometimes it went a little bit faster, super shallow. It was really, really shallow, but it was a nice, enjoyable boat ride. And then, do you want to talk about the Nubian village?
So I was really excited for the Nubian village because I've just seen all of these pictures of it with the beautifully painted houses, and on Airbnb experiences, there was like pay $80 and like a photographer will follow you around in the Nubian village taking Instagrammable pictures of you. We obviously didn't do that, but it sounds like a beautiful place if it's so Instagram worthy. So we get there and you can see before you even dock the boat, like there's a bunch of really colorful buildings. So we got really excited, and then we get in and we go up these stairs, and it's just like a market of souvenirs. Like as soon as you get into the main road.
Well, even as we got off the boat, these two little boys were selling us keychains.
Yeah, and
we're like,
necklaces. I think.
No, we don't. Yeah, but yeah. So right off the boat, we get not harassed, but
a little bit like bombarded.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, as soon as you get onto the main street there, you're fully bombarded, and it's not like what I would necessarily expect from like Nubian crafts. Like people are always trying to sell their things. It's like 10 to 12 fairly identical tables, all selling the exact same things. The hats, the spices,
a lot of spices,
lots of like necklaces and beadwork, jewelry. And then there was a few like random painting shops that I stopped and I looked in a bit because I like to collect art, but it was all fairly like generic kind of mass produced looking things.
Souvenirs, lot of souvenirs.
Yeah.
So Jen, what are we doing right now?
We're visiting a Nubian village.
Okay, and what have they tried to sell you so far?
Everything.
Yeah?
Necklaces, abayas, spices, lots of spices.
Anything that tempted you?
There was some nice artwork.
Yeah? Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of disappointing about that, so we decided to go off of the main road and kind of go up a block and more into, I think, what would be residential area. And you still got the beautiful, there was fewer, but you still got some nicely painted buildings. And then we kind of just decided to do a loop, call a day. We stopped and had a tea with a view of the dam and the Nile. So that was really nice. And then we did a bit of a loop back to our boat, and then we're on the really nice boat ride again.
Yeah, with Mohammed. Nothing after that. I think we just. Oh right, and we had booked Abu Simbel for the next day, where we would have to get up at 4.
Right.
So.
We had to leave at 4.
We had to leave at 4, so we didn't really have much of a nightlife.
No, yeah, we came back to the room. I think we walked around Elephantine Island a bit, got lost.
A little bit, yeah.
And then had a quick easy dinner, and then we were in bed by 7:38.
Yeah.
Because we had to get up at 3:30. So day 1 was fairly relaxing.
Yeah.
So then second day, Abu Simbel.
Right. So we wake up all itchy at 4 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning. Get ready, and then at 4 we leave the house, the Animalia Museum, I guess.
Yeah.
And then make our way to a port that we had not been before, so we had to kind of like figure it out. We had been told where it was, and yeah, but we made it okay.
Yeah, it was
in good time, and yeah, the boat. All right, morning, Jen.
Good morning.
Do you wanna tell us where we are?
We're at a dock. I don't know where we are.
Okay, but what are we doing? What time is it?
It is 4 a.m. and we are waiting for our boat to take us to the mainland to go to Aswan so that we can go for a really long car ride.
All right, and how was your sleep last night?
I don't know if you really want to bring that up.
What happened?
Well, you took all the blankets, so I got eaten by mosquitoes.
Also, you refused to put the mosquito net down, so...
I didn't refuse. You asked if we should, and I said, I don't know, and then we didn't.
No, you said no, so I didn't.
I don't think you want to argue with me for it.
All right. Are you excited? How are you feeling?
I think I'll be more excited once we're in the car.
Okay. And you got your pillow?
I got my pillow. I got Ellie.
Perfect. Excellent. Bye.
And then
oh.
Did we say we're going to Abu Simbel?
I don't think you did, no.
No.
All right.
And then we go to Abu Simbel.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah, the boat came, so because it's early, a boat has to come and get you. A special boat has to come and get you.
There weren't any ferries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a 4-hour drive. I was really lucky. I guess I slept on and off kind of most of the way out there. Oliver, I don't think got to sleep very much in the car at all. So then we get there, we walk, and right away they ask us if we want a guide. So we got a guide, and he was really, really helpful. We didn't want one the whole time because we wanted to be able to do our own thing. So he's like, here's a shortcut. So we walked around, so we were ahead of everyone. Like, nobody was ahead of us. He took some pictures of us before anyone arrived. And then he like sat us down in front of Abu Simbel so no one else could take pictures, and gave us like the information for the 2 temples. Like quick and easy, but still interesting.
Yeah. A lot about Ramses II.
Yeah, who sounds like he had a pretty interesting life.
Yeah, like 60 odd years as a pharaoh, had over 100 kids.
Yeah, over 200 kids. Was married over 60 times.
Yeah,
something like that. Like, pretty prolific.
Yeah,
all around. Over 100 boys and over 80 girls, I think. Sorry.
And the temple was like to honor his victory over the Hittites, but like from what I heard a podcast on the bus. Apparently, it was not much of a victory. It was just kind of like a draw, but like he claimed it as a victory because it was his only military campaign, and it was apparently also the first peace treaty in the world, and so it's written on one of the walls of the temple. And so that was pretty interesting.
But he built it for himself. Like, he built himself as a god.
Yeah, so
he's pretty proud of himself.
On the facade of it, you have 4 statues, and it's just Ramses, just in different times of his life.
Yeah, and then his favorite wife, which was Nefertari, is like this tall, kind of goes up to his calf. It doesn't go that high. It doesn't even go up to his knee. Yeah, just like this little tiny thing on either side of the entryway, and then her temple is the other one beside it. So that was neat. We spent the day, we spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours, kind of just exploring the 2 temples, taking some pictures, had a bit of a snack.
And then we're kind of not rushed out, but we're like, okay, it's time now, let's go. The man with the gun told us to go, so we followed the man with the gun.
Yeah.
And then we went back on the bus and just drove back, really.
Yeah, we were back by I think like 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So then Oliver had been reading, I guess, what to do in Aswan and what to see. He's been here 3 times, so I was trying to encourage him to find things that he hadn't done yet. And he found the Valley of the Nobles. The Tombs of the Nobles, that's right.
Yeah. Which you can see from Elephantine Island. Yeah. So it looks kind of cool. It looks like just holes in the mountainside. So it kind of looked interesting, like something that but we couldn't see anybody. Like, when you look at it's not super settled. Doesn't look like something tourists would go to.
Yeah.
So, and we heard that we had to go at it at sunset. Like, sunset was the time to go. So that's what we did. We waited a little bit, and then around 4 o'clock we started making our way to the Tombs of the Nobles. And then we get there. It's just very confusing because we heard a closed ticket stop at 4. So okay, so we get there and it's 3:54. Like, it's a little bit before 4, but still in time.
Yeah.
And this one policeman says it's closed. Don't go. Like, as soon as we leave the boat, he's like, no, don't go. It's closed. So we're a little bit disheartened, but we decide to go anyway. Like, maybe, I don't know.
We can argue our way into it. You can do that quite a bit in Egypt.
And we got there, the ticket office was still open. They're like, okay, we're about to close, but get your ticket now. So we get our ticket, and then that's pretty much it. We climb up. And
a bunch of people climbed up after us, too. So I was confused by that, too.
So we were the last people to buy a ticket, but
I don't know what the other ones would have been doing. And you could ride a camel, so it's like quite a steep hill. It's not really a mountain.
No.
But you could pay to ride a camel up it. We had absolutely zero desire to do that, so we walked up it. And the tombs themselves aren't really anything to write home about. They're not. I don't even feel like they've really tried to make them interesting.
Yeah.
There was like one little corner that had some like religious carvings on it that you could see, but other than that, it was just a bunch of rubble. And then they
painted like the number of the tomb right next to it, so you can't really take a good picture of it. It's like 34C. Okay, and 34F, 34. So it's in yellow paint. Yeah.
So, but the real reason to do it, I guess, isn't to see the tombs. It's to get up to the top and see, like, the view is stunning. You get to see the Nile, you get to see Elephantine Island, you get to see Aswan, and then you get to see the sunset coming from the other side. So I'd say it was definitely worth it for that, but not if you're excited about tombs.
And we had this group of girls next to us that were like, I'm guessing TikTok. And we just like singing along and copying the Egyptian way, and so it was kind of nice to like have. But no, we went down after sunset, so we had sunset there. We went down after sunset and just got back home. Like, we were quite full, so we had lunch quite late, and it was a big lunch. So we decided to just go back home, and we were still not hungry. And that's basically much it for that day. We put the mosquito net down.
The dusty mosquito. Had some snacks, played some games, called it an early night. The day before, our first day, we went to a restaurant on Elephantine Island and had like vegetarian tagines. Mine was just mostly potatoes, and yours was eggplant. But the eggplant one was quite good.
It was really good,
Sorry, I forgot to mention.
And then we went to Makani the second time. So we went there, and it was quite good. We had chicken burgers.
It was supposed to be African cuisine.
I don't see how it was.
And then it said Aswan is the capital of Africa, which confused me a bit. Okay, so that was day 1. Day 2. Day 3, so today, which is our last day, which was kind of sad. We got up,
had a big breakfast.
Good morning, Jen.
Good morning.
So, what are we doing today?
We're about to have breakfast, and then we're going to go to the Temple of Isis, Philae Temple, and then we're going to come back here and check out the Animalia Museum, which is actually right here, and then we're going to go catch a train.
And how do you sleep?
Not great.
But we had the mosquito net down.
But the damage was already done.
All right. What are we having for breakfast?
Well, we have lots of stuff for breakfast. So we have this salad, some baladi bread, 2 different kinds of cheese, some falafel, and some egg. And then we haven't tried this yet, but we think it's like a rice pudding. And then we also have some tea, and then I think this is like fresh orange juice, which is delicious. And then just a nice quiet view.
Perfect.
At our Airbnb, which was really, really nice. It's all family owned and operated, and they do a good job. And then we got up and made our way back across to Aswan, and we just took a Kareem, like an Uber, to the Temple of Isis, the Philae Temple. And then we get in, and it's like a marina full of boats, but nobody's really like doing anything, and you have to take a ferry to get to the temple. So finally we walk all the way down to the end before one man kind of approaches us, and he wants like 300 pounds to take us to the temple. And
we had asked the taxi driver how much it would be, like if he could estimate it for us, and he said about 100 pounds each way, I think he said.
So like 200 pounds round trip. But like we couldn't even get a clear answer whether the 300 pounds was round trip or whether it was one way, or like they didn't really want to help us too much.
And we would have liked to join a group, like if there were many people, like we could do like, hey, there's a couple there that came alone, how about but there was nobody.
It was just us, and like this one guy that was telling us the prices, and we were like, no. We looked around, and like there was no one else.
Nobody to argue. Nobody else came to us being like, I'll do it for this much instead.
So it made bartering kind of challenging. Like obviously you've bought the ticket already, so you're not going to fully walk away.
We're moving.
We're going that way. So that was interesting. We ended up getting it down like 50 pounds lower. Our boat driver was very nice.
Islam.
So we make it over to Philae Temple. We've got like 2 hours to spend just wandering around. Beautiful sunny day. So like December 29th, and I think I got sunburned today. Like my shoulders are pretty red. But the temple's beautiful. It's really well preserved. There was more tourists there than I think both of us were expecting.
Just because the port was empty and you could see all the boats just docked. But the temple itself had a lot of people in it, a lot of groups A lot of French people.
Lots of French people. But French people, we've had French people on every stop we've been to, I think.
Yeah.
So French people are not afraid of Corona by the sounds of it, and they're traveling up a storm. There was a few times where we would be like walking down the street. We often had our masks on, and like locals would be like, Corona, Corona, as we'd walk by, like kind of accusing us of spreading it, which wasn't super nice, but I get where they're coming from for sure.
Oh, I always thought they were just doing that as in like, you're afraid of Corona, like, haha, I have it, I'm gonna give it to you. I don't know.
Oh, see, I thought they were like, because we were foreigners, they were coughing at us, being like, you don't care, like you're spreading it to Egypt.
No.
Kind of like go.
I didn't see that.
Anyway, so Philae Temple highlight for you.
My highlight for I was really trying to find. I remember this like French inscription on the temple, so obviously graffiti, but I couldn't find it. We found one that was just in French, saying that on the year 7th after the Republic, these people came here, and then they put the latitude from Paris. Or longitude from Paris, and then the latitude. They call it the boreal, latitude boreal, or something like that. So yeah, I think that was my highlight. Was finding that, but still looking around to find the other one that I thought was there, but I'll have to look it up. Yeah. What about you?
I think it was just so beautiful. So it's on an island. So like the whole temple kind of encompasses the whole island. So you walk around and you can see water all the way around, and it's beautiful. We didn't have a guide for this one, so I don't know much of the history of the temple or much about the carvings in it, but there was one wall like kind of in the middle, and I don't understand how, because everything on either side of it was really badly defaced, but there's one wall that is like perfect. Like there's not a single graffiti mark or like scratched out face or anything. It's like in perfect pristine condition. So that was really neat to see. But then yeah, you go into the room off of it and all the faces are gone. You go into the room on the other side of it and like people have written their names all over the place. So I don't understand how that one stayed. But yeah, that was just really neat. So then after that, I'm gonna try and make it quick because we're now moving. After that, we took the boat back, took an Uber back into town, and went back to Elephantine Island. Went to the Animalia Museum.
So I don't know, we had a lot of people told us about Animalia Museum and how it was great, and
it's like the number 2 thing to do on Elephantine Island. Like it's mentioned every time you Google Elephantine Island. Yeah,
so I was kind of excited for it. I thought it would be like learn about Elephantine Island, or it was like a lot about Nubian history, and yeah, so the guide was one of the family people there, and she just said, oh, where are you from? And so we said Canada, and she's like, French or English? We said English, and it was like if we pressed play, and she just recited everything. She's like, this is a bowl, it was made from reeds. We use every part of the palm tree. This is what we do with the trunk of the palm tree. This is what we do with the fibers of the palm tree. And it was just like, no emotion, no nothing. It was just
all
bang out
like memory, yeah. All of these facts just kind of shot at you.
Yeah.
She didn't seem overly thrilled that we were there.
No, because we had waited for her. Like, it was close when we got there. We were like, okay, it might be around lunchtime, so we'll wait. But it was she was waiting on the balcony. I don't know what she was doing, but she was just on the balcony the whole time. So I don't, But we had waited. We're like, we don't want to disturb her. And then at 1 o'clock, we're like, okay, let's
start disturbing her again.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a tour of this. And she came down and started reciting to us. And then, so yeah, it was I have several highlights for that museum. One of them was that like in the so it was like a normal Nubian house, and so there was like the outside courtyard, and it was like covered in sand. They were like, yeah, at night you cover it in sand. Since it's covered in sand, you make it really, really flat, and that way in the morning when you wake up, you can see the different animals that pass by, and if it's a scorpion, you know where it is, and so you don't have to like, so that was rather smart. And then there was like a bedroom, the Nubian style, and my other highlight, so then they're like talked about the dam and how like it flooded 40 odd Nubian villages, and the government like didn't really compensate them properly.
It spent all its money making sure the temples were moved and safe and okay, but not much for the people that were getting displaced.
Yeah, at least that's their version of it. And then they were displaced from being right by the Nile to their village being in the desert. So like changing all their lifestyle. So learning about that was interesting. And then there was the stuffed animal, like stuffed local animal thing, but it was just obviously done by somebody who's not a professional, or maybe a professional, but I don't know, is not used to these animals. The eyes were just, it looked like painted on. And then,
I think they were also quite old.
Yeah, they were old. Like I didn't even take the picture of the fish, just because they were like falling apart.
Yeah.
Everything just looked like dried fish. Didn't have much of a look. And yeah, that was the museum.
And then there was
what were your highlights? Sorry.
I don't know, but there was a room full of like kings and queens and like historical Nubian people, and she kind of was just like, oh, there's information about that in that room if you want to. And you walk in there and there's like paragraphs on every single like plaque to read, and it's just a lot of information coming at you that might have been interesting coming from a person with some like stories attached to it.
But it's written, so it's typed out, not proofread or anything, just because, well, it's obviously it's only in English. I was surprised it was not in other language, or at least not in Arabic. It's only in English, and it's not great English.
It reminded me a lot of like our students' International Day projects and stuff like that in grade, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7.
And it's just like pinned to the wall, so it's not. A lot of it was not framed or like laminated or anything. It's just here's the paper pinned to the wall. Done. That will do. Yeah, a lot of spelling mistakes.
And then there was a wall of different rocks, and she just started telling us what the different rocks were. So then Oliver's like, "Oh, are these rocks that are found here?" And she's like, "In the desert." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And then there's like a little gift shop at the end that you can look in, and it's basically all the stuff that we saw in the Nubian village, in Aswan on the side of the road. Like, it's the same stuff everyone is selling everywhere, unfortunately. I would have loved to buy something to support it, but it wasn't really anything to buy. I don't know, so I don't really have a highlight. I think my highlight was kind of the experience, because it was kind of surreal in general. Like, you wait and wait for this museum tour, and then it's this very...
You hear so much about it.
Yeah, it was like on TripAdvisor, like they had such good reviews. And I think the dad, it's probably, like, he probably made it. It's probably his passion. Like, all of these reviews mention him by name, and we got the daughter. So I think it's probably not her passion. She's probably been, like, coerced into it by family. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But it was an interesting experience. And then walking into the room full of taxidermied animals, and you're just like, oh, okay, I'm really glad I'm wearing a mask right now so I can kind of hide the expression on my face while trying to take this serious.
So she names the animals that are there. But and then we took a little walk around Elephantine Island as much as we could without getting lost. And then, we met a couple of people who were just asking where we're from and asking us if we wanted a boat ride. But we didn't want a boat ride. And then we just made our way back to the train station, found somewhere to eat.
And here we are.
Yeah, and that's about it. So I'll give a small tour of the train and what we have, but we're thinking about changing cabins, so I'm going to ask if you can change, just because, like, well, I'll show you. Why, welcome to our cabin. Come on in. Make yourself at home. So, hello, yeah, it's a pretty small cabin. But you will see we have a nice little sink here. So you open it up, and you can have, you can't have hand towels because that's not corona safe.
But we could have them 2 days ago.
2 days ago is okay. Soap and everything. And because this doesn't close properly, it would just open and close all night long and make noise. So the ingenious idea is that you use one of these, put it in the sink, and then you close it. And that takes care of it, and now it doesn't bang anymore. Ingenious. This was done by the trained people. Then we have both bunk beds, and if you see that it's quite dark down there, and you're saying, but why don't you put this bed back up? It's because that's not safe.
But it was safe on the way there.
On the way there, it was safe. On the way back, it's not safe because it can just pop out.
You need a key on both sides to unlock it when you lock it up there.
But it could pop out.
But it could pop
and
out.
hit you on the head.
Yeah.
So it's not good. And then this thing here, when you sit down, it's nice because it wobbles up and down.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of excitement in your train ride.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the good stuff. We have a meal. So inside the meal, ooh, it's like Christmas all over again. You have a bag of crisps.
Yeah.
Okay, suck it, vegetarians. You have an orange, so I mean, I think this is the best part.
Yeah, super easy to peel.
A juice.
All sugar, 25% juice.
This.
Random cake that is probably not edible.
And cold hot dog.
Ooh.
With a
that's
cold,
new.
I'm guessing it's cheese in there.
It was cheese last
So
time.
good. And last but not least, the 3 olives
In a Ziploc bag, so they've been touched aplenty.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you get
That is your supper. Stay
for
tuned
supper.
to find out what you get for breakfast.
Ooh, yummy, yummy. So that's oh
Yeah.
right, and then there's some storage up there.
Up here, where I think a lot of normal people, me included, cannot even remotely reach. And you got a lovely mirror so you can see how haggard you are in the morning. You got all of these lovely switches, some of which actually work. This one does the lights. And then, ooh, does your light work? We didn't try it. Ooh, on the way here, neither of our lights worked, and now both of them do. So that's our trade-off. Our sink doesn't close, and our seat doesn't stay, but we have lights.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then the other thing, when we were walking to the train, we were really excited because they were cleaning all the windows. But if you look, you cannot see through ours, and there is a huge pile of dirt covering it. So they cleaned the windows, but they did not clean ours. Anything else to say?
No. That's
All right.
about it.
I hope you like trains.
Yeah, should be fun. I'll still have fun.
Good morning. So for breakfast, what do we have here? We have bread. We have cheesy bread, I think. And we have
Sweet.
sweet bread. And we have jam. We have a little brick of feta cheese. What they think is feta cheese. And yo-yo. All room temperature. Just the way I like it.